Okay, now I know I did a review a couple of weeks ago when I first got my set of my makeup brushes. I was not impressed with them at all, simply because they are so incredibly flimsy. Some of the bristles were, how to put it, messed up. They weren't in the mold correctly. So I was not in the least bit impressed with how they were. However, I used them yesterday just because I was bored and I wanted to see how my makeup would turn out compared to how my 19-year-old suggested that I do it. And to be honest, I was quite impressed. I didn't have any streaks. I didn't have any lines. It wasn't cakey, and it looked great. So this is, you know, what I am going to do. Go ahead and do my makeup. Normally I wouldn't do this because I don't like people seeing me. But I take rubbing alcohol. I put it on my face before I put any makeup on, just to dry out any oils that I may have. Even though I know I'm going to be putting makeup on, I still do it. Now I'm not sure how well you can see, but I have really dark circles under my eyes, and I have a lot of red, mostly here and here, because I have really bad rosacea. I didn't develop rosacea until I had my youngest daughter, and she is 12 and a half, so I've had her for about 12 and a half years, and I get little spots that are really red, and this constantly here on my nose and underneath my eyes, right in this area, always stay red. They stay red and they stay pink, and I also get little spots that will look like it's a pimple, but it's not. Trust me, because they can stay there for weeks and they don't do anything other than just turn into a little red blotch. So I'm using my foundation. I use the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous, the 3-in-1, which has the sunscreen and the foundation in it. And I use 825, which is buff beige, because it's also got a concealer in it. However, I also use another concealer. Now you can see that there is an imperfection here on the side. I've also got one here that's by my lip, and I've also got one here on the other side. Now, this stuff is absolutely amazing. Not only will it cover everything correctly, but the brush itself makes everything look absolutely wonderful. And yeah, this is probably more foundation than most people put on, but again, I have rosacea, so I usually apply a liberal amount of everything just to cover it up. And while I'm doing my makeup, I do have wipes. I use Clorox wipes to keep my hands clean because I don't like germs. And no, I'm not a germaphobe. I'm just weird like that. I just can't have my hands sticky. This is the foundation brush. Goodbye. And I'm not sure how well that shows up on camera, but it's actually doing an awesome job. I barely have to apply any pressure, because you see how flimsy they are. Very flimsy. I'm not sure how well the coverage is showing up in the camera, but you can see there is a major difference. This is completely covered here on the side. Let me see if I can tilt it down a little bit better. That's covered really, really well. Now this is still not covered completely, but it's not red like it was. You can see the redness is gone out of my cheeks. And it blends in really well with my hairline, especially right now with my hair being pink. My hairline is very noticeable. And it's good. This is really, really good for getting right here in the creases of your nose itself. Now they do have a concealer as well. I do put a concealer simply because I've got really bad bags under my eyes. I am using LA Girl Pro Concealer HD, the high definition concealer. I'm using the yellow corrector. So I'm just going to put that underneath my eyes. I don't put a lot because I really don't need a lot. But I do put the concealer on simply because I've got horrible bags under my eyes. Now, I don't necessarily put it on any other place. I may do my blemish, but that's really about it. And since the other one's pretty well covered with the foundation, I'm not going to bother with it too much. Now, what I do, and what probably most people don't do, is I do put a little bit of my foundation on my concealer brush just to even the tone out. And then I do it that way as well. You see how much better that is? It's now just a tiny little spot, so I'm not going to fret about a tiny little spot like that. See, the bags are not as bad now, however, they're still there. Now, I'm not really all that great when it comes to like during contouring. That's completely something that my daughter does really, really well. I, however, just do a little here and there. Not much because I kind of suck at it. And I will admit that. But nobody said you had to be perfect. At least not in my mind anyway. I guess if people don't like the way I look, they really don't need to look. And it's probably not the way everybody else does their makeup, but guess what? I don't care. I have to like the way that I do it, so this is the way I do it. Okay, now comes for the fun part. I've got to grab my powder. I'm not sure how well you can see, but there's no streaking whatsoever from these brushes. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that I went ahead and spent the $25 to get it. They're really good. I absolutely love them. Now, I don't necessarily know how much powder everybody else chooses, but I put about that much powder on my brush, and then I put it in the actual part here because I don't use the stupid little tampers that come with it, and then just tap some off. It's about how much usually ends up staying on there. And then I just slowly tap it around. Without choking myself from the dust. since this does look like it's a little bit different in color, I'm going to go ahead and push a little harder to get the evening out. But I'm not sure, let's see how well it looks. You can see that there's no uneven streaks or anything for that matter. Like I said, I'm completely, you know, impressed with the way these brushes work. I honestly didn't think that they would do as well as they have, but I like them, and I definitely am going to be ordering more. And I will post the links for them, along with, they now have a new round holder for them. I'm going to order those too. That way I don't have to keep taking them in and out of the bag and looking for which one I want, which is really a pain in the ass. But it's only like 10 bucks. I only paid 25 for these. I got me a set. I got my 12-year-old a set. They're, you know, for the price, they're, you know, they're not Artis brand, but they work just as well. And I don't have any issues with them. This is the second time I've used them, and I like it. They don't leave me cakey, and they don't leave me streaky. So, you know, that's always my goal, is so that I don't look like an old lady, because I am 40. So, thanks.